Speaking of guys who are almost dead, Aaron Rodgers, team was almost dead. That's what I'm going for, not him literally dying. The team was dead. Let me just be clear on that. The Packers got the win after 5 straight losses, and Rodgers, speaking with reporters yesterday, usually does it on Wednesday, but that screwy short week is trying to get that thumb ready to go, get it rehabbed. He hasn't been practicing on Wednesdays. Now he's playing on a Thursday. Here he is from yesterday, talking about whether or not the team's offense, based upon what we saw on Sunday, is morphing into the thing that he envisioned it to be. Have a listen.
I don't know. I mean, I think there's overreactions, negatively and positively every single game you play. And no offense, Tim, but, you haven't been the only one who's talked about sustainability and certain ways of winning and playing. I think it's all week to week. It really is. You try and find your identity throughout the season. A lot of that is, kind of just jargon to keep a conversation going. In fact, the most important identity is competitive greatness and going out there and playing your best when your best is needed. We hadn't played a 4-quarter game all season. I felt like that was really close Sunday. Really proud of the guys, the way we finished in the fourth quarter and then put together a good drive in overtime. But I don't know. I mean, you have ideas about how things are going to be, I think, when the season starts. But you don't know what's going to happen injury-wise and play style and which guy's going to play really good and which guys are going to struggle maybe a little bit. I think we all were hoping for a performance like that out of 9 and excited for him. But obviously not having 87 out there is taking some opportunities away from our offense. But if we can get Cobby back, that'd be a big lift. The consistent players that we've had in this league have been behind me in the backfield. Jonesy's had a great season and AJ's been playing really well. So we got to keep riding those guys.
I wonder what you have to do to actually earn a name from Aaron Rodgers. 9 and 87 then becomes Cobby and Jonesy.
Yeah, well, you gotta be there.
Jones.
That's typical. That's typical in a locker room. It is. Sometimes the rookies don't get a name, or they're only called by a nickname until they're, they earn that first year. There was like that. I used to tell young guys in the offseason, like, hey, you got to make the team, and then I'll remember your name. That's how we'll do it. Because I had nicknames for everybody, too. You got 90 guys in the locker room one day. All of a sudden, you're like, whoa, I don't know everybody. So you're like, hey, Utah, come over here. Hey, big dude. Yeah, you, blockhead, come over here. Hey, blockhead, hey, I like you. Let's talk, blockhead. That's how it works.
Wait a minute. How big would someone's head have to be for you to call him blockhead?
Well, in the NFL, there's some big heads out there. You know that for sure. Some of those offensive linemen, but they got cinder blocks. They don't even got brains in there. They just got a big stone head. So, yeah, that goes on.
But what occurred to me while he was explaining that, and here's the reality. Whatever your plans are that are carefully or haphazardly, as the case may be, made in the offseason, when it's time to play games that count, it is a blur.
Yeah.
A lot happens, but you really don't have many opportunities to go out there and hone your offensive craft. You get, 7, 8 drives a game if you're lucky?
Right.
Is that a good number of drives in a game? 7, 8, 9?
Yeah, right around there.
And if you're sputtering, you're not getting many drives at all, and you're on the sideline trying to figure it out, and then you go back out, and you 3 and out, and what the hell's wrong? And the game's getting out of control, and you start getting desperate, ditch the running game, heavy on the pass because you're down by 17. I mean, it makes it hard to have the kind of continuity that you would like to have and build one game on another, but the Packers finally looked a lot like what they want to be because they did get great running out of Jonesy, and they got great catching and running out of 9 against the Cowboys on Sunday. Now we'll see if they can do it on a short week. That's going to be the key. Short week turnaround. I already mentioned the thumb for Aaron Rodgers. Will he be good to go Thursday night? But they got a good team coming in for a primetime game, and we'll see. They get this next one, though. Makes that game in Philadelphia, Week 12, very interesting. Great addition to the Thanksgiving weekend slate, Green Bay at Philadelphia, if the Packers win on Thursday night. And even if they don't, we just saw the Eagles struggle with the Commanders. We could see them struggle with the Packers,
Yeah,
too.
sure. No doubt about it. I mean, the Green Bay thing and what you're talking with Aaron Rodgers, I mean, you're right. It is hard. It's hard when you're not there at OTAs. It's hard in training camp, right? Because it's limited, even though it's still a lot of practice and all that. But to your point, too, it's not time on the field where, it's not a controlled environment anymore. We're not getting a lot of preseason snaps together. That bleeds over into the regular season now, where you're trying to figure that stuff out through the month of September. And then, like Roger said, you get an injury or two, added to the fact of a guy like Christian Watson was already a rookie and kind of raw, and then he gets injured. Oh, wait, now we got to kick the can down the road. It's another few more weeks before he can contribute to the football team. So, that's where it is tough, and especially in their situation up in Green Bay. And then Rodgers, that question there, is this what the offense you envision? I don't know. I mean, obviously not. That was the answer to that. I mean, he would have been like, yeah, that was close. That's what I wanted to do. I'm not sold on this Green Bay offense is fixed by any stretch of the imagination. They made some plays the other day. There's no doubt they ran the ball fantastic. And it looks like, hey, maybe they continue to be able to run the ball like that. But we've seen, they did it against Buffalo. Buffalo, it was the fourth quarter. They were playing pass defense. Von Miller talked about that. And we were seeing that maybe Buffalo's run defense isn't all that we thought it was. It's kind of all over the place a little bit. And then, of course, what they did in this game against Dallas was special. But the other thing with Dallas, too, and when you're a well-coached running team, they're a small defense, Dallas. I mean, they really only got one run stopper. Their other D tackle's 280 pounds. DeMarcus Lawrence is 260-something pounds. Doris Armstrong's in the 250s. So I think it was a favorable matchup. I'm not ready to sit here and say it's fixed yet, though, Mike, just because we got a few one-on-one shots down the field to Christian Watson and ran the ball.
Well, because what will happen now is defenses will adjust to that reality, and it'll be harder for Christian Watson to run free, and they'll load up a little bit more against the defense. And like you said, some of these teams they're going to be seeing may be better suited to shutting down the run. But I think just like with so many other teams, it's a common theme, and maybe we need to be far more sensitive to it generally across the board, everyone in the media, than we are. If a team can't run the ball, it makes it so much harder to throw the ball. And we rattled off the stats earlier this week. It was the highest percentage of running plays that the Packers have had with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. They had their highest percentage of play action when they did throw on Sunday since 2020.
Right.
That's the key. If you're running the ball well, you do play action, you freeze the second level, and you take the steam out of a Micah Parsons, and you find a Christian Watson.
Unless you're Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen, they don't need a run game. But that's how good they are.
Well,
and they're offense.
That's right. No, you're right. You're right. But what do we say? What do we say from time to time when they
it's too
sputter?
much.
Man, they need to run. They need to run more. We're relying too much on these guys to go out and save the team. But
no, agreed. I was just having fun with you there. I mean, your point's still
but even for them,
very much
real.
Even
for them, that's
you got to have
point.
something.
Yeah.
You're right. They got to have Kadarius Toney speed sweeps, a screen, stuff like that to take a little pressure off. So, we will see. I mean, Dallas, and again, a really good defense, causes turnovers, all that. But to your point, too, because they're smaller, they got people in the box, they put themselves in some man-to-man situations where, again, Rodgers was, okay, there's great reward here and there's little risk, right? And that's the one thing that he's comfortable with. Again, I'm not going to say it's all fixed in the passing game. Running game is solid. We know that. And they're very well coached, and they always do the right thing. But I'm not going to say the passing game is fixed until I see a 20-yard in-cut, in between two defenders, and it's put in the hole there, or the crossing route with somebody trailing them by just a foot or so, and Aaron Rodgers throws a missile in there. There's still reluctance to do that, even when I watch the film of this pass game, where you just go, man, again, you're Aaron Rodgers. Your arm is still top-notch. You got to throw that in there right there. But, looking at the rush and being too conservative is certainly still an issue there.
Just a missile?
Just a missile. Yeah, just a missile. Just a missile. He's
not a piss missile.
No, not a piss missile. He doesn't got that Josh Allen Mahomes piss missile action right now. Nope.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.